We're ready.
Well, it's my absolute pleasure. GETV is back with the wonderful Miss Malagrios and your beautiful daughter, A-Star. How are you doing, Princess Star? Are you well?
Yeah, gotta talk okay. Up, baby.
So today's been building up. This has been building up for quite a while, really, this interview. So I suppose, really, for you, A-Star, it must be a little bit nervous for it to have been a week away, a few days away. Has it been difficult concentrating?
A little bit.
And have you found yourself warming to the situation? Oh, come on, your confidence is there. I've seen your reels. I've seen you walking down the catwalk.
Did you see her on Ruff Ryders Radio?
Yeah.
This is the Malagrios show.
I've seen your handiwork as well with the camera. You're very professional like that as well.
Yes, I love stuff that involves like cameras or electronics in general. I'm really good at stuff like that. And I like, nobody ever taught me stuff like that. I kind of like taught myself. So
sometimes that's the best way. And you've really started at quite a young age to be able to step into and go to, like you said, to your mom's Ruff Ryders Radio show, to be able to go on the catwalk and strut your stuff. I mean, it's something else really at your age.
Yeah, it's a little hard because like people just, staring at me. I'm not used to that because, like it's even hard for me in the first day of school. People are just like, whoa. I was getting used to it. I got to get used to it again.
It's something really, I suppose, with longevity. The more you do it, the more you'll get used to it. And you started at an incredibly young age, really.
Yeah. So, when I was like that young, I was really shy.
8, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was 8.
Do you recall?
7 or 8? No, 7 or 8.
Wow.
She was still in elementary school.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
5th grade, right? Mm-hmm. She started in 5th grade, so she was 8.
Wow. You remember it? Do you remember it well? I mean, when you're that young, nothing phases you anyway. So what was your first assignment?
Gold sneakers.
Is this the lingerie? Don't tell me it's like the one that your mom was doing and you was doing.
No. It was Macy's. They wanted me to do like this kind of like audition thing, but
for the commercials.
Yeah, for the commercials. So they didn't really pick me after I was done, but
they did pick you. That was Rose Noir. But
Rose Noir.
I don't know how it all goes. I'm still new to it, so I thought I did good for that first time ever.
Yeah, that was really her first time. The Macy's. Then you the Rose Noir didn't pick her for the runway, but Macy's picked her. So yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Did you get to keep the clothes?
Yes. Yeah, I did enjoy it. It was really fun. Nerve-wracking, but it was really fun. I had no idea where I was going, so I was like, which way did I go?
And the wardrobe? Did you get to keep the wardrobe you were modeling?
Well, that was my own clothing, so yeah.
Oh well, never mind.
Something I bought for Macy's.
Yeah.
You stepped straight in then to Harlem Week, didn't you?
Harlem Week, the runway you did after Macy's.
Harlem Week? I don't remember.
Have you done that many of them?
Yeah, she's done. How many runways you did? About 4 or 5?
Yeah.
What was Malagrios? What was your first outing? Do you remember? Do you recall now?
My first was BYFT 2017. Well, that was my first runway, but my first photo shoot was with H&M.
The flagship store, I believe so.
Straight at H&M. I started with 99 Modeling Agency, which is in Manhattan, in April. My first photo shoot was May. I was on a billboard in June.
Was that work by Sean Montgomery?
Not the H&M. Not the H&M. No, that was all 99 stuff.
Was it a later date with Sean Montgomery? Was it thick and thicker?
I haven't. That's what you know, Sean Montgomery.
I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't shot with Sean. Sean is one of my favorite. I have 3 top photographers. Okay, Kels is number 1. Shout out to Kels. Denzel, you know I love Denzel. She loves him too. Denzel, who is my photographer and videographer for my show Ruff Ryders Radio, is number 2. And Sean is number 3. Sean used to be number 2, but Denzel kicked him out the box. I gotta be honest. You know what I'm saying?
So do you find they kind of put you at ease? A different photographers, a different style, and you find you kind of fit?
Younger, and you know Denzel is younger. You know, he's a young stud. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Denzel. And he also like has, not to take anything from like Sean, but he has he works for Channel 12. He's a newscast. He's a news videographer.
Really?
Yeah. So he has straight out of college, you know. So yeah, you know. So I love Denzel and Sean.
Let's go backwards and have a look at have a little chat about your first move. Like you was, first of all, with music wise, you were actually in a hip hop dance crew back in the day, weren't you? A
bounce crew?
Hip hop dance crew.
What's a bounce crew? Like, is that dancing?
Dance.
I did dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our crew, when we was in high school, it was called TGFC, means the Get Fresh Crew. We got fresh though. Got fresh, and we did many talent shows and whatnot, you know what I mean? So yeah, this girl named Shaniqua, Doula is what we used to call her. Shout out to Shaniqua. If you're watching, the big Doula, she taught me how to really like hip hop dance, because I was into like ballet and all of that stuff from young. So to convert from like ballet and tap and jazz to hip hop was a little different, right? I was kind of like the girl from like Save the Last Dance. That's what's called.
Save the Last Dance.
Yeah. It was kind of like that.
Look at me. Did you not find yourself then as a natural progression wanting to go into music?
No, I mean, I could sing, but I just didn't want to get into music. Being behind the scenes, like with the people that I know, like Heavy D, God rest his soul, Tupac, God rest his soul, Jadakiss, you know, has been my childhood friend since I was 16. Who else? DMX, right? Uncle
Photograph
DMX.
with I did see a star.
She loved DMX.
You have a photograph with DMX, don't you?
She loved DMX. And Uncle Jadakiss, right? Mm-hmm. When the last time you seen Uncle Jadakiss?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
That was last summer. Remember? We was in the
was
store. Or what did he say?
last summer for me and your mum. Like he's like.
What did he say? What did he say when he saw you? He said,
"Yo,
not so big. She looks like her father. Look at how tall she is. Hard." They call me Hard. He was like, Hard, she taller than you, right?
Hey, Star. How are you doing at school? What's your favorite classes?
My favorite classes are science and math. I've always been good in those classes. I still am. They just don't really like me at this school.
Have you decided yet? Have you decided yet? If you don't, I hope you do go into modeling. I think you've definitely got the talent for it. If aside from modeling, have you decided on a career path?
Well, I've been really focused on being some sort of scientist of some sort. And then if not that, then definitely technician, because I like building things like for people, like that's helpful for people. And I also like helping people. That's why I want to be a scientist of some sort.
And she could draw. And she could draw too and paint. I sent you some of her drawings, right?
Yeah. So you could really, I suppose, as well. I mean, with to be an architect, you could actually do quite a lot of design with regards to your engineering and put your drawing skills. Is there anything you considered?
I'm gonna have to like draw something in order to make something.
Smart girl.
Yeah, very. Have you found yourself wanting to diversify from the actual from modeling and maybe step into TV or commercials?
A lot. Yeah, I've thought of that a lot. I'm always like, Mom, I want to get into acting. I want to get into acting or something like that.
She really wants to get into acting.
I think
So
the
I think
lifestyle's phenomenal.
when we did the Disney casting, that's what they casted you for, right?
Yeah.
Because she had to read lines. She knew the lines right away. Whereas I remember I did a casting online and I had to keep reading, I had to read a couple times. The younger kids, you know, they soak stuff up like sponges. And your thing was a promotion for Disney.
Yeah,
for
Disney Plus.
Do you remember it?
It was like,
Let's say it. Let's see if you remember.
It was like,
because I remember, but go ahead.
Something like that. Something like Disney Plus is the best streaming platform out there. And it was like, it gives like a whole bunch of streaming stuff and shows come out, like movies. And there is some shows on there, but a whole bunch of Disney, Pixar, Marvel stuff related on Disney Plus. And they said that I did good. I didn't really go like by piece of every line, and I think they liked that. And then after all that, I just did my Mickey Mouse voice.
Oh yeah, she does a great Mickey Mouse impersonation. Do it. Do it. You're good. Don't do it.
That's perfect.
I can't even do it.
No, you can't.
It's Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse. We're clowns together. Like me and her. Forget about it. You seen the videos I showed you?
Yeah.
Couldn't do 10.
Push-ups.
She did 10 though. If you count, she did. And I was so adamant. I was like, you're a bum. You're bum. You're bum. I did. I was like, you did 6. You did 6. You did 6. Like I did 10. Then I goes back and I'm like, oh shit, she did do 10.
That's terrible.
But I did 20.
And I'm like, so what?
I did 20 and I showed her up. I'm her mom. I'm her mom and I did 20.
How do you enjoy traveling with your mom when she goes to different places to do?
I love traveling with my mom. Ever since I was a kid, that's the only thing I would really do is just go places to places with my mom. I'm like, wow, we're always on a trip and our favorite rocket ship.
Yes, a car or a plane. It's just crazy.
Where have you been?
We've been to Florida,
Panama.
Panama. Yeah, I was gonna say
what else?
Panama. Georgia,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And
but you kept her busy, really.
And Texas, yes. When I got my award.
That was the best. I love that. I was gonna.
She only loved that because her best friend lives there.
Actually, I liked it because my mom got an award.
I thought it was
respect.
It brings like this little spark in me that's like, I wanna do that. I wanna get yeah.
I get this all. I mean, you two are really good friends, aren't you, as well? You really vibe off each other.
This is my best friend.
Ever since I came out of this woman.
Ever since she came out of this woman. This is my best friend. Shout out to my baby father. This is the only thing he did right, besides my son. But forget him. This is the only one. This is the one right here, Melly. If you're listening, this is the one. Thank you.
Has it been inspiring?
Thank you for her, Melly.
Has it been inspiring watching your mom?
Out of anybody I like tell her, like as in like famous people or people that I somewhat look up to, she's always been the first person I looked up to, because who else was there to look? I look up to myself, but I mostly look up to her because it's like, if she could do it, I could do it. That's why I like modeling, just off of promoting things and just really like gaining confidence for some things I can do now. At first, when I used to go in stores, I couldn't even say the things I wanted. I used to be like, Mom, can you do it? But now I have a lot of confidence, and I'm like, if she could do it, I can do it. And she's always like watching, or she's walking with me, and it's just like, she's like, you got this, you got this. And I'm like, yeah, I think.
Have things changed for you with regards to like your social circle at school?
Yeah, how are they with you at school when you first started modeling? Tell us.
Well, once they see my Instagram, once I get back into school, they're like, oh my God, you model? And I'm like, and then they go to my mom's page and they're like, oh my God, is this your mom? I'm like, yeah, it's my mom. And they're like, what, she has a radio show? Oh my God, she's acting. Oh my God, she's modeling. Oh my God, what is this? You guys are so rich. You guys have to be rich. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh.
And I am such a struggling model and radio personality and aspiring actress. Not rich, A Star's Friends, not by far.
They're like, I love your mom. I want to meet your mom. Can I go to your house? No.
But when I become rich,
That's
I'm gonna come back to
lovely.
Real Housewives and give y'all a bag of goodies and give you guys a nice photo shoot with my daughter when I become rich.
Is it safe to say that you're enjoying your life?
Me or her?
Both of you?
I really do enjoy my life. It is a struggle, but I like my life.
I love my life. I'm just living life by myself, not vicariously through my daughter. I think she's living her life vicariously through me. What do you think?
What
Are you living your life vicariously through me and you're the young one?
can I ask you then? Where was you then 10 years ago? What was you doing?
Oh, 10 years ago. Oh, actually 10 years ago, I was into politics, right?
Yeah, that's what she said.
I worked at City Hall of the city. I worked in City Hall, the city of Mount Vernon, and I'm not from Mount Vernon, I'm from their show. But I worked at the city of Mount Vernon as a secretary for the water department, a receptionist for the recreation department. And then sometimes, I would be upstairs doing dictation and notations for the mayor. So I used to be right by him, Ernie Davis. Shout out to Ernie Davis, the ex-mayor of Mount Vernon. And I learned a lot doing I learned a lot doing like dictations and notations. And I learned so much about politics. I can't even get into it over, these.
What was the catalyst then for change for you?
Yeah, this was a total change from, first of all, I come from a medical background. So the politics was a change. I graduated college for LPN and medical billing and coding. So to go from that, I stopped doing medical, 2011. So to go from that into head first into politics was just like, wow, you know what I mean? Politics. So you have to be so upright and so politically correct and so blonde and
Can't picture that, can you?
No, because I'm so fucked. I don't give a fuck about nothing, I had a mentor, her name is Diane Atkins, and she was like, okay, you got to go back to charm school. We have to, get you some, what is it called? Some,
Etiquette.
Etiquette. Yes.
Etiquette.
I'm the best, right? I'm a little ghetto, but I have etiquette, of course, and I'm very professional and I'm very intelligent and self-taught. So
what was the opening? That was a big change then for you to come from City Hall and then all of a sudden find yourself in the world where you're becoming a radio show, you begin modeling. What happened
in between times, right? So 2015, the City Hall thing was over. So they were like changing mayors. So another mayor won. You know how that goes. It's just like the president, right?
Every 4 years, is it?
Right. Yeah, that's it. Right. So one of my childhood friends died. Her name is Glennis Pinto. On April 18th of 2015. And she's actually my kid's father's cousin. I forgot to tell you that. So she's like family any damn way, right? So, I took that death very hard because, first of all, the way she died, you know what I'm saying? She didn't die in her sleep. She didn't, she got killed. She got assassinated by another childhood friend. And that was my friend as well. So it's like I lost two friends in one day. You know what I mean? And we're all mothers, right? Glennis had one son, Nunu. Shout out to Nasir. That's like my son. And the other girl has about 5, maybe 6 kids, right? So it was just like, it was devastating for me because I was close to the both of them. Glennis a little more than the other girl. I met Glennis when I was 12. Glennis had to be 11 because Glennis is about like a year younger than me. And I just.
What was the backstory behind her being killed, if you don't mind me asking? Let's get it
It
out
was
there.
about a guy. It was about a guy that neither one of them knew over a decade.
Wow.
You know, Glennis a little longer. Glennis knew him a little longer than the other girl, but it wasn't, to me, it was not even worth it. You know what I'm saying? They could have fought and left it at that, which they did. They had a physical fight with fists before the girl came back to kill her. So that's just something else. You know what I mean, in itself. But so I always kept asking myself, what can I do to keep her name alive? Because one thing about people, when people die, out of sight, out of mind, right? Even if they do in jail, right? If you're in jail longer than a couple of months or whatever the case may be, it's out of sight, out of mind, right? So I'm like, all right, the way she went out, I'm not gonna let anyone forget this girl. And then, you know, her funeral was such a big, it was like she was a celebrity. It was like a big tribune of 2,500 people plus. Glennis didn't even like 2,500 people. Let's start there. She didn't even, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even like 25. So all these people came out in droves for however she impacted these people's lives. So I'm like, okay, this is what you're doing. Great. So we're going to keep the memento up because 2,500 people came out. All right. So we're going to see if 2,500 people is going to keep her name active. You know what I'm saying? Which of course.
What did you do then?
I did. So what I said was, what can I do to keep her relevant? So I remember she always used to like to dress and she wanted to model. When we were kids, she told me she wanted to model. I think she did a couple of things with some type of agency, but it didn't fall through because she had contracted lupus. She contracted lupus when we were adolescents. Ooh. So she struggled with that. You know what I'm saying? She struggled with that.
Yeah, it can be quite a debilitating illness, can't it, that as well? Yeah, for years.
I mean, she was a soldier with it, but she struggled with that. And that was another thing that made me angry. You feel me? Because it was like that didn't even take her out. A close friend took her out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into fashion. Fuck it. You know, that's my all to end all. Fuck it. I get that from Pop. Like, fuck it. Like anything, fuck it. So
that look that A-Star just gave you then was like, really?
I know. Yeah, fuck it solves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
They don't like it. Fuck it. She like me. You know what I'm saying? It because it alleviates stress. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because if it's not in your control, there's nothing you can do about it anyway, right? So fuck it. I mean, it's not
no reason worrying.
To say fuck it. You can say forget about it or forget about it, like Italians, forget it, whatever. But whatever it is, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's non-relevant. It's not a non-factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
anyway, back to this. So I was like, I didn't know nothing about modeling, right? I'm 5 feet even. I'm between 5 feet or 5'1". She's taller.
So you're bigger than your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, by far. By far. She's about 6.5 inches bigger than her mom. But anyway, so I was dealing with a guy. He was my boyfriend at the time by the name of MC Kev. Now we call him MC Kev because he was at MC, right?
Yeah.
And so I was telling him, and he was very close to Glennis too. We're all tied in. He's actually Glennis's son, kid's father. So he knew Glennis for a long time. He's from Mount Vernon. So I'm telling him about Glennis, and I'm like, you know, she always wanted to model, you know, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you know what? You should do it. And he was like, you know, remember when I used to rap and stuff? I used to take photo shoots, and, you know, I came across a couple people in the modeling industry, blah, 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 blah. He was like, yo, I'll make some calls for you, you know. and see what I can make happen. I want you to research. He said, do your due diligence as far as, learning the business, learning that this. Kevin was very thorough with like me learning, not just going in, you know what I'm saying? Me learning like what I was going to do. So I did that while he did his part. And it just so happened, he made some calls for me or whatever. I spoke to a guy by the name of Kenny Smooth, who was from Mount Vernon as well. And he's a big producer. He did things for like Heavy D and I'll Be Sure. Blah, blah, blah. Shout out to Kenny Smooth. So, but in the same token, when Kenny was getting in touch with me, I started like putting pictures up on like Facebook with Sean Montgomery. And 99 called me. Well, they emailed me first. And then they was like, we want you to call us. We're interested in your look. Your look looks nice. And then I called them. Of course, we set up an interview. I went in. They liked me. They liked what I had on. They called me back for a second interview. And people think it's easy to do a modeling interview. It's not, because guess what? 1,000 people will come in.
Yeah.
And only 3 people will stay.
That's
Trust
terrifying.
me. It'll be 1,000, 5,000. The model industry is so saturated.
Especially in New York.
Okay? I'm telling you. And it's like this. You, yeah. Like that. So you gotta have a tough skin.
How's that not soul destroying though at the same time? It must be.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just cut and dry, just like that. It's either they like your look or not. You could be the prettiest girl. You might not be what they're looking for. No consolation against you. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have the look for whatever it is, their runway, you know what I'm saying? Their brand, their designers or whatever. You don't have the look, and you got to chalk that up and go to the next.
Hey, Star, how have you coped with that with regards to, if you could give other aspiring like young models any advice, how have you coped with the fact when if you go to an audition and you don't actually get the job? How's that feel?
Be honest.
It's like being in a relationship and then having a heartbreak.
Let's talk up. He didn't.
I said it's like being in a relationship and having a heartbreak. Oh,
good answer.
But that heartbreak only lasts for 5 seconds because you're gonna go to the next.
I like that analogy.
Wow. What advice would you give though to other young models to be like, to just dismiss it instantly as quick as possible? Move on?
Really, I'm kind of like a laid back person with that kind of stuff, but for anybody else, what I have to say is really like, don't give it too much attention. Like, you could sulk in it, like, hey, wow, can't believe it. But at the end of the day, you weren't the one. And it's okay to not be the one. You don't always have to be the one. Just know that there's something else out there that's gonna want you.
My girl.
Well said.
My girl.
Well said.
My girl. And trust me, I didn't even prep her for this. That's why she's like, I don't remember, but my girl. That's what it is. Because one no or a simple no, it's going to be a yes. It's going to be. It's just that you got to keep at it if that's what you want to do. The marathon continues in Nipsey's voice. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get plenty no's in life. Modeling, act, it don't matter. But it's going to be a yes. And that yes is going to be for you.
So directly from the modeling then, is that when you stepped into, was it In the Mix Radio?
Yes. And that's with Sean Montgomery. So Sean Montgomery had a show up there called Thick and Thicker, right? Because he was dealing with the tall BBL models. And I was the shortest one, like I told you, I'm a petite model.
Yeah.
And Sean was my mentor for modeling. Like MC Kev got me into modeling, but because he was in prison, Sean was my mentor. So Sean, I could say he was like my manager, even though he didn't really get paid or nothing. He just took me underneath his wing and was like, I'm going to show you the ropes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started Thicker and Thicker in 2017 at In the Mix in Yonkers. She came a couple of times. She didn't co-host or nothing because it was other girls there. All the girls that were in at Thicker and Thicker, we were all models, right? So, but she used to come and sit like in the lobby and listen to me and stuff, right? So I was there from September of 2017 to January. Now, while I was there, Darren Dean from Ruff Ryders, which he's the COO, because Joaquin Dean, his brother, is the CEO. So he was watching me. They know my stepfather, or whatever the case may be. It's true. They know my biological father too, but they know my fathers. And there was a situation where if you watched and you remember this, so D got his chain stolen, right?
Yep.
Like he was in a jewelry store, something happened. He was going to get the jewelry, the chain like cleaned or whatever the case may be. And a girl came in there and yapped him for the chain and like took the chain on some sneaky, whatever. So he was looking for this girl. So I was like, I knew that they knew my stepfather. So I was just like, wait, what? I'm like, so I DM'd him like, yo, what happened like with that? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, and this is when I started getting up in my following in Instagram. I always had like a little following on Instagram because I'm a popular girl from Westchester.
Yep.
So when I started Instagram, I would say like the first 2-3 years, I already had like 5,000 followers. Then like the next year, before modeling, I was already 10K before the modeling. I was like 7 and some change. So that's round that off, that's 10K. Anyway, so I'm like, what's going on? What happened with that? So he's telling me briefly about what happened. And then I'm like, what the girl looked like, and he, gave me a little brief description. He was like, if you know anything, it was the Ruff Ryder chain, but I'm like, I'm going to be on the lookout and I'm going to put it out there. You know what I mean?
Quite a unique piece as well.
Yeah. So me and him kind of got a rapport off that, right?
Yeah.
So he started following me. And then this is as I was doing in the mix. So he's watching me on, I would see him on my lives come up, general over everything. That's his Instagram tag name.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I used to always like, okay, we got Darren Dean on the line. Shout out to Darren Dean, blah, 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 or whatever. So I would say about November, he reached out to me like, listen, we need radio personalities over here at Ruff Ryders Radio. What you fitting to do? You staying there? You coming? You coming over here? And I'm like, what are the odds? So let me tell you another quick story. When I was like, I'm gonna say 20, I was in Stop Drop. I was in the what's the name of that shit called? It's not called Stop Drop. It's called the Ruff Ryders Anthem. I was in that video.
Really?
I was on the back of Sean Bay, God rest his soul, of his 4-wheeler.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, and I was like 20. So what are the odds? I love the Ruff Ryders. Like
Yeah, me too, yeah.
And like I said, I knew DMX from, when he first started, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, what are the fucking odds? What are the odds?
Did you realize?
What are the odds?
That's crazy.
Seriously, right?
Yeah, massive.
What the fuck are the, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I want to be Ruff Ryder, ride or die. Hell yeah. So
did you realize the significance? This is for you, Star. Did you realize the significance when your mom stepped into Ruff Ryders Radio? Did you know?
Did I know? No. I mean, she told me about it eventually, yeah. And then, like, now she has a whole Instagram about it. And I'm seeing her in her Instagram, and I'm like, wow, I'm really there. And then she was like, one day, I guess when I like came after school or whatever, she was like, you wanna come in there with me? I was like, what? Yeah. So I came, and I kind of like just did it with her.
Did you have a little bit of a swagger in your step? Was you?
You saw her. You saw her, Raphael. You saw her. You saw her.
I'm up here. I'm out here.
And that wasn't scripted, by the way. I just gave it to her like, okay, listen, you gotta go. You see, she's kind of soft spoken. I'm telling her like, speak up. I'm like, listen, you can't go in here with that bullshit. That's how I talk to her. Look, you can't go.
If you had a choice of modeling assignments, what would you choose? And what designer?
Would you do editorials or runways or commercials
Magazine.
or magazines?
I would do commercials.
Cook
Ooh,
that up.
I would do commercials, a lot of commercials
for
actually.
the exposure.
Yeah, I'm way better with people like not in front of me and looking like over the screen like, oh, okay, that person's in a commercial. Than people like literally standing there and just staring me down.
And snapping pictures.
Yeah, it feels like they're like looking into my soul. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, tell him remember the runway, the first time you did the runway in New York Fashion Week? So, right? Let me tell you something. If you are shy, this is just not it. Listen, all the models in the back get dressed in front of everybody. So you see them their thighs, you see them vaginas, you see them penises, because men is back there. It is what it is. There's no way to go and just, it's none of that.
And I think it should be like that as well, I believe.
You're getting
dressed. We're all born the same, aren't we? At the end of the day.
You're getting dressed in front of this man that's never seen you before. He's not paying you no mind, because everything is let's go, let's go, let's go. Nobody got time to sit there and look at your breast, look at your butt, look at your vagina, look at your penis. We don't, it's everything is just so, you know what I'm saying? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Once you get on the runway, you got to go back and change. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We don't have time.
How did you find it to start with? Did you find it nerve-wracking?
I did in the beginning. I was like her, her first time. She was like, "Mom," I'm like, "Listen, I'll stand over you. Do what you got to do."
Oh, it must be for a child.
I didn't have nobody to do that for me. You know what they told me, Raphael? Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Better go over there. Better find you a corner. I was trying to get dressed in back of the clothes the rack. One of the designers came in and said, "Baby, what are you doing? You gotta move. Come on, I need this area." So it was.
And now your confidence is there. You can see your confidence.
After it took me a while, trust me, because like I said, men is in there too. So I'm just like, oh my God, my virtue, And it's just like, and I'm not a virgin, that's not, obviously I got 3 kids, right? But I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And they don't tell you this. They don't tell you this in modeling school, boo-boo. Oh yeah, no. Go right on out there with the wolves. You'll find out. Hey, they don't tell you this. Mm-mm.
Who's been your favorite guest on the show?
Who's my favorite guest? Who was my favorite guest? Who was my favorite guest? I'm gonna have to say Zab. That interview with Zab Judah. I'm gonna have to say that interview with Zab Judah.
Oh, good answer. I do like Zab.
But for real, somebody said I was acting like Tupac because I got in front of him and said, "No, you're not being real." I don't know. I think that was the clip when Tupac got in front of Ed Lover.
Yeah.
He was like, "I going off for what."
I actually really like that interview as well that Tupac does. He jumps from Ed Lover. I think it's very cool.
When I looked, I said, I'm not trying to be like Tupac. So then I went back. I said, "Oh, I think they talk about when he was on MTV Raps talking about when he was supposed to be in a menace to society. He had beef with the director." Yeah. And Ed Lover put his hand over his mouth because he was going crazy. He was going off like this. So yeah. But yeah, I would have to say that was because we went to the gym to see him train. He was that interview was because he was coming back out, right? And he
back in the day, he was a hell of a fighter, Zab.
I know.
Undisputed world champion.
People really don't even understand. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. You know what I'm saying? People don't even know. They think he's a has been. There's nothing has been about Zab Judah.
No, nothing.
Okay.
And he ruled the featherweight, lightweight division for quite some time, Longevity and a really great career, Zab.
Right. So he came back and his manager, F.A., shout out to FA, was like, yeah, we don't mind, and they know my father too. It's crazy, right? Like everybody knows my father. And they're like, oh, hell yeah, we do, yeah. And we know D and we know Y and we know Ruff Ryders, and they just know, and everything. So I went to the gym. I think it was what's the gym that he trains in? I forgot, but it's the gym. And I watched him, train, and then it was some rap guys that came there by the name of R&T. Shout out to them. And they was there. I forgot what they was there for, but they seen what I was doing. They was like, oh, you from Ruff Ryders Radio? I'm like, yeah. They was like, oh, we rap. I'm like, where? I'm like, rap right now. Cause that's what I do. Rap right now. And they like, all right. I'm like, but hold on, let me get my equipment ready because y'all gonna rap right here. And they started rapping, like freestyled it right there. Then they had their merch with them, their shirts and their sweats. And it was a good thing. And Nipsey had just died, so we was all on that. And it was just a great feel and a great interview. And I learned so much about boxing on the flip side of things.
Yeah.
From Zab. Shout out to Zabby, Zab Judah. For me. So,
A-Star, have you got any aspirations to put out your own merchandise?
What?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it.
Is it something that you've thought about then?
Tell them what we've been doing. That's crazy that you asked that.
Well, Mom has been, she already like put it online. She made like this kind of like clothing online store thingy.
What is it called? What is
Come
it
on,
called?
get it out there.
We know, but what is it called?
It's called Star Melly. So
cool.
That's my two kids, her and her brother.
But it's online, and the stuff that she's been trying to do is like kind of put out a little Gen Z, I guess maybe all day-ish. And me,
say it how you mean it, girl.
I love bucket hats, and I really, really like baggy clothes, ripped jeans, all that stuff. I'm a bit tomboyish. Well, not a bit. I am tomboy.
Very.
So whenever it comes to stuff like that, like baggy stuff or just stuff that comfortable stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it.
Have you got your logo down?
Do I have my logo down for it?
On the clothing.
We came up with the logo, right, Star? You helped me with it. The logo it's their name in script. I'm gonna show you right here. Hold on.
Cool.
I can show you what it looks like.
Yes, please.
Okay. Hopefully everybody else will see it too.
And
don't try to copyright because I already got the LLC and everything.
You let them know. Hey, there's some sharks out there though, isn't there?
I'm saying,
really is.
Hey, baby, don't try it. I learned a lot from them Kardashian girls. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, they've got a lot to answer for.
I learned a lot from them because I always was fascinated in how they did shit. Like, how the fuck these girls come from privileged beginnings, if I may.
Yeah,
now,
they do. They do.
They were socialites.
They're not from where we're from.
No, Kim Kardashian, for God's sake, she was just on a video talking about, oh, you gotta work, stop being lazy. Boo, you didn't work a day in your life.
Not ever.
So you should have never came out with that message. I get it, whatever, but like that wasn't for you. Right message, wrong messenger. Because you were privileged before Chris even had you. Okay, she set that up for you and Courtney.
Oh, look at her pops before her father passed away.
Like, y'all didn't work. Y'all worked in the Dash store for a little bit. Y'all high burgers. You had that sex tape.
OJ.
And y'all turned that negative to a positive. Stop it. You never worked at the Gap like Kanye or McDonald's or KFC or, you know what I'm saying? You was Brandy's and Ray J's stylist, for God's sake. Please, I hate that people forget where they came from. Like, you're privileged, man. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Don't do that. You know what I mean? But I learned a lot from them, I'm gonna say, on the business aspect of what to do once you're in the door.
Agreed. Good line.
You know what I'm saying? And how to go about your stuff and and things and such. I learned a lot from Kim. I'm gonna say from Kim. I learned a lot from her, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm looking for it. So if you have another question, you can ask because I'm looking.
I've got some quick fire music questions for you, Malagrios.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Jadakiss or Method Man?
That should have been a versus. And I'm going to tell you something. That would have been a good versus, but Jadakiss still would have ate his ass.
Agreed.
Fire underneath him, boy. And they have two different styles, but Meth can rap. Like Meth rap. But
I like Method's voice.
He can rap. No, Meth is very lyrical, but he's no match for Jason Phillips. Not at all. No. Next.
Public Enemy or Wu-Tang Clan?
Who?
Public Enemy or Wu-Tang Clan?
Wu-Tang Clan. Public Enemy is just their one genre was political, right? Wu-Tang is political and can go into different genres. They were very versatile. Next.
Slick Rick or DMX?
DMX.
She knows Slick Rick too. This girl got also. So here is the
Turn your brightness down.
Oh, I like it.
Wait, she told me to turn my brightness down so you guys can see
How
it.
you do it?
I don't know.
How you do it?
You gotta go right here. Okay, now go back.
Yeah,
Oh, I like it. That's really, really stylish.
Well, it's Star Melly. So the A in her name is a V. And the E in my son's name is a V. And again, I did that for copyright, you know, because there is a clothing line called A Star, right? We saw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
there is.
look at this. And I was going to name the clothing line A Star. I said, look, God, thank God I didn't do it because there surely is a clothing line called A Star after my daughter. So that would have been a problem, you know.
Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprised me.
You could go back to that song Sorry that they did together, Final. And that tells you the tale. That tells you the tale right there. Right?
Yep.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. That tells you the tale right there. Jay-Z is lyrical, but he's not lyrical. Nas is lyrical. That's why he almost took him out with Ethan, remember?
Yeah.
So
He really did want to. He really wanted to.
Nas, and he's a Virgo. A day before my birthday. Any day, Nasir Jones.
She's all about
Born the same day as Tupac, me.
Nobody's better than Tupac, ever.
Born the same day as Pac.
Oh, I love you. That's why.
June 16th.
That's why. He's a fucking Gemini. That's why didn't I tell you the guy was cool? Blah 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 blah. This is why.
Yeah, born the same day as Pac.
June 16th.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. Yeah.
Hell of a birthday.
Donald Trump is a Gemini a couple of days before.
Mm.
You know, but yeah, nobody's better than Tupac. They will never ever be another Tupac ever in life. Eminem
it's been a long time gone, and nobody's filled your shoes, have they?
Eminem came close.
Very.
This close, okay?
Yeah.
But he still didn't make the cut.
For a white boy.
Ever be another Lassane Parish, because that was Tupac's name before he changed it.
Yeah.
Okay? Never in life. And thank God we had the time to experience him in his short life, right?
Very too short, wasn't it?
Yeah, him and Biggie, very short.
It's the same with Nip as well. There was no reason for that man to die.
At least Nip died when he was in his 30s. Pac died, he was 25. Biggie died, he was 24. You know, over nothing. Nothing. I mean, just nothing. And Nipsey did a little more. I believe if Tupac died in his 30s, he would have been right with Nipsey, you know, had his own business and things and such. Biggie too, you know what I mean? Gave us more music and stuff. It's crazy because their stuff is still relevant to this day, especially Tupac, right? When that whole George Floyd went, what was people playing? Changes. You know what I'm saying?
That was the anthem, really, wasn't it?
You know, and now they're playing that shit where he's like, they got money for war, but can't feed the poor.
Yeah, money, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's relevant. Look, that's relevant right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You saying this in the 90s.
What do you think? What do you think of the current? This is a question for both of you. What do you think of the current state of hip hop, commercial hip hop in particular?
I'll let you go first. What do you think of the state the state that hip hop is in right now, commercial hip hop, like the drill rap and stuff. Do you like drill rap?
I don't like any kind of rap. Not like that.
She said she don't like any kind of rap.
What do you listen to?
You listen to rap though,
A little
but she
bit.
listens to old school rap.
I listen mostly pop culture. So, and a little bit of that, a little bit of not. I listen to my own little aesthetic kind of stuff.
Cool.
But
She's a weirdo. I've been saying that for the longest. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
the state, I don't like it. It's not like how it was back in the day, because back in the day,
What do you know about back in some day?
I'm telling you,
You
I was
was
here
born in
before.
2007.
I was here
damn
before.
it.
I'm telling you,
You was here before. Okay, go
I was
ahead.
here before. But back in the day, it was really like, it was more like a slice of life a little bit. And it was something like you could feel, like, not just, I mean, off of the beat. Yeah, the beat goes hard, but like when they're saying things and they're not mumbling when they say anything. Because now there's a such thing as mumble rappers. And the first person that made mumble rapping was what? No, it wasn't Easy. It was who?
Hell no,
It
it wasn't
was,
no Easy E.
It was
one of them young rappers. I don't know. It wasn't nobody from mine.
he was in this. He's in a lot of music videos with Nicki Minaj, but yeah, they didn't mumble. They just said what they had to say and then just went on. But now, right now, it's like you're mumbling, you're talking about how this girl broke up with you and how you hate girls, don't trust women. Oh my God, she broke my heart, but I'm
sensitive thugs.
another girl, even though she broke my heart. Like, this doesn't make any sense. How are you? What?
Excellent.
Sense to me.
Excellent
Now,
answer.
Isn't that shocking from somebody who's 14 years old? Not for nothing.
Can
Not just 'cause
encapsulate
it's
the
my-
current state of rap music.
Not because it's my kid, but seriously, this girl is 14. So for her to say something like that, you rappers really need to listen to that, because these are the people who buy your shit. You understand? Prevalently, these are the people.
Without a doubt.
These are people who want to go to your rap concerts and shit. The new Gen Zs, that's what you call them, right?
Mm.
They're telling you they want to hear you. Stop fucking mumbling. We can't hear you. Okay. And show some respect, because the same lady that you disrespected, you came from. And I'm sure you got a sister and an aunt and a grandmother at your house.
For sure.
From a 14-year-old. Each one teach one. That's a fact.
Mobb Deep or Tribe Called Quest?
Mobb Deep. I'm a street girl.
Good answer.
I love you, Q-Tip. Rest in peace, Fife. But
Five. Rest in peace, Five.
and Havoc. Havoc, my boy, by the way. Shout out to Hav. But yeah, Mobb Deep. I'm a Mobb Deep girl all the time.
Redman or Rakim?
Rakim.
Good answer.
You see
Most
what I'm
Def?
who?
Yasin Bey, Most Def or Big L?
Most Def or Big L? That's not fair, because that's a crew. So you gotta give me another crew with them.
Oh. KRS-One
Or who?
or Big L?
KRS-One. KRS-One for the culture still. You see what he did to Big
Still.
Daddy Kane versus?
Yeah.
And he didn't come to play. That old man did not come to play Big Daddy Kane. And he's a Virgo. Love Big Daddy Kane. He thought it was a game. No. The bridge is over, literally and figuratively. He crushed him at the verses. Crushed him. Ooh. Lord, I've never seen nothing. I said, damn, Big Daddy Kane.
I love Big Daddy Kane.
I love it too, but KRS-One
Annihilated
crushed
him.
him in that.
Yeah.
He crushed him. Big Daddy Kane was over there trying to change outfits and shit. Crushed him.
Did you see Game last week on Drink Champs?
I heard about it. Game is an ignorant fool.
He had a meltdown over Eminem.
Ignorant fool. Ignorant fool.
Absolute meltdown.
That what goes to show you when you put your foot in your mouth. Because he would have been okay if whatever happened between him and 50, if he would have just, you can't keep harping on shit, bro. You know
Even
what I'm saying?
Nori was like, wow.
Right, whatever happened between y'all, you can't keep, just move on. You know what I'm saying? And Game does well by himself too.
Yeah.
We don't know what he would have been if that would have never happened between him and 50 or whatever. But he does well by himself too, right? We can say that because he's put out projects after.
For sure. I love LAX and documentary.
You understand what I'm saying? But it's
Great
just
album.
like, bro, you don't dim somebody else's light to make yours shine brighter. You don't need to do that.
I even got a quote once from Game years ago where he actually said, the one dude you never diss, the one dude you never badmouth is Eminem, because he will end your career.
So what does he think is gonna happen? He thinks M is just gonna keep letting him, you know what I'm saying, say shit about him and shit. Like, no.
Do you think he'll face him on Versus?
I don't think so. I don't think
Me
he stands
neither.
a chance. He don't stand a chance. I don't care if the boy is white or green. You don't stand a chance against Marshall Mathers.
Oh, you don't.
I don't.
You get eaten alive.
If he was multicolored, you don't stand a chance against Marshall Mathers. You don't stand a chance. And that's the bottom line. And that's for most of these rappers. You don't stand a chance against Marshall Mathers. Jadakiss might not even stand a chance. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Friend
very, very fast, isn't he? He's very quick.
Friend or foe.
Yeah.
Jadakiss probably don't even stand a chance against Marshall Mathers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Beat, no beat, acapella, or freestyle, whatever. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like,
I agree.
And I don't.
I woke up. I woke up about 6-7 months ago to find Cool Herc had been on my Instagram, and found a pair of trainers of mine.
Your sound.
Is it gone?
Your sound.
I don't think it's me.
It went out.
You there? Can you hear me now?
It's good. Yeah. So you said Cool Herc did what?
Yeah, DJ Cool Herc was on my Instagram page, and I think out of everything that I've got, little tiny bits and pieces of people, I think the fact that Cool Herc, who obviously, I don't know, invented the breakbeat, didn't he, back in the day, for him to go on my Instagram and find a pair of shoes and just like, all he wrote was cool with a K. And
really?
Yeah, and that's.
How do you think he found you? How do you think he found you?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking that myself. I just kind of thanked him. It was like a little bit like, thank you very much, sir.
It's funny because you see, people don't understand. People are watching you on these internet sites.
Yeah.
And you'll never know who's watching, when they're watching, and what they possibly think of you. You know what I mean? You never know. So it's always good to remain humble, regardless.
What's next for you two guys?
What's next for you? What's next for you? What's next? What is mommy about to do with you?
Have you got a plan?
Huh?
Have you got a plan in place? You know what you want to do?
We got a plan. What mommy about to do for you?
She's trying to get me into acting.
Oh, I don't try.
Well, she's doing it.
I'm going to.
Going to, for sure.
Get settled.
Yeah, I've just purchased the house. So, that's why this is my last interview. And I'll be back in the summer, But I want to move in and I want to get my house settled. See, one thing about it, I don't like doing stuff if my household is not together. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come home, this is the place of your solace. This is your tranquility. This is your castle. I just was talking about this with one of my day ones, and it's true. You know what I'm saying? So if your house is in an uproar, chaotic or whatever, it's like you really can't function like that on the apps. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to, move in my house, get to learn in the new community that we're going to move into, get her situated to get into a new school, a new high school. And that's hard, right?
Especially that at 14 years old, it's difficult.
Right, 14, because she's a freshman, so she'll be going into being a junior in September. And making sure my house is, I like my house a certain way. I'm kind of like a low key but high key interior decorator, right? So I want these tiles and I want this and I want that and all that shit. And make sure my mom is good because I take care of my mom. She's elderly. And she's my biggest inspiration in the whole wide world. And just make sure she's good. And then I'll come back in like July, August. This shit will still be here, right?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe I'll get appreciated a little bit more than I am now. Motherfuckers that miss me and be like, where's Milagros? Where's,
Are you as close to your mom as you two are?
That took a while. I'm not gonna lie, that took a while. I was a wild child. I got shot when I was 12. I started dealing drugs, all types of shit. Went away to DFYs. My mother was like, who the fuck is this child? I put her in Catholic school. I put her in everything: ballet, tap, jazz, gymnastics. What the fuck is wrong with this girl? You know what I mean? So that took a while. I would say we started getting close when I was about 16, 17. Got older and shit. Stopped being a little rebellious towards my mom. This one is very rebellious. I just let her do whatever because she's gonna do it anyway. I mean, and I mean that within some guidelines, right?
Yeah.
Because she's gonna do it anyway. But my mom was a fucking warden with me, if I may. My mom comes from a political background. My mom is a Panther, right? So she was very hard on me. That's just why I'm like this. People don't understand. So, I had to wake up every morning at 6:00, whether it was school or not. Yeah. Shit had to be nice and neat. My mom is a fucking, well, she got slow to the tack now because she's older, but she was, what do you say I am, a star? OCD. Yeah, my mom had OCD horribly. So I guess that's why I got it. Come to find out my biological father got it too. So whatever, right? And so I had to make up my bed a certain way. The creases had to be just ridiculous, right? I had a job when I was 12, news before I started hustling, newspaper route. I had to. My mom was like, you gotta get some money. What about your money? Yeah, so yeah. And then when I was on punishment and shit, I had to read the Bible. I had a story just like Tupac, minus the feds coming to the house and all that shit. But yeah, all that shit, I had to read the Britannica, the encyclopedia, backwards and forwards, write it down and all that shit. That was my punishment. Not taking the TV from me. No, you can watch TV, but you're gonna watch PBS. And then you're gonna tell me what
public broadcasting, great.
And how you felt about it and what could have changed. Yeah. So this is why I'm this intelligent as well, because I didn't learn all that shit in school, but yeah. So
it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm running out of time. Is anyone you give shouts out to?
Shout out to Ruff Ryders. I miss you guys. You already know. You know what I'm saying? I love you, Y. I love you, D. Thank you guys for the opportunity. Salute. Shout out to my mom. You know what I'm saying? Power to the people. Shout out to my kids, A Star, Melly, Dejanay. Shout out to my sister, Elizabeth. Shout out to Kia from McDom. She's actually going to be my manager when I come back.
Oh, cool.
And when I come back, I hope you guys are ready, because I'm coming back. It's going to be a better body. No, I'm not getting my body done. And I'm coming back. Yesterday's price will not be today's price. So whatever the price is now that I'm leaving, when I come back, the price is different, bitches. Shout out to Savage Fenty, Rihanna. Congratulations. Denzel, Trifton Rose. You know what I'm saying? MC Kev. Yeah. Shout out to Ski.
Esther. You? Your friends?
Give me a shout out.
Come on.
Give me a shout out.
Shout out to my homie Brianna. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to my friend, sometimes my foe, Sahara. Shout out to my Leo sister, Lil Lee. Shout out to
Lils.
Lily.
Lils. I love Lils and Brianna.
Oh,
Shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to all of my Somers friends. Shout out to the little people here. I love you guys. Sometimes I hate you guys.
oh,
But shout out to everybody, bro.
Yeah. And shout out to you.
Right. I was about
thank
to say
you.
shout
It's been an absolute
Shout
pleasure.
out to you.
you.
Thank you very much. This is the dynamic duo here.
Take care.
out. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to my daughter. I already said that. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Peace.